Welcome to World Knowledge Channel. In the context of increasing globalization, each country's economy plays an important role in shaping and influencing the world situation. Below is a list of the 10 countries with the world's leading economies today, based on GDP index and other economic factors, contributing significantly to global economic strength. Let's find out which country it is through this video. 1. It's the United States. The U.S. is a developed market economy with the world's leading nominal GDP and net assets. The U.S. economy measured by nominal GDP is estimated to be $23 trillion. The service sector accounts for about 80% of total output with advanced technology. Large mainstream businesses in technology, retail, finance and healthcare play an important global role. Many factors such as a positive business environment and active work hours contribute to America's success. Determined government, advanced research universities, and favorable regulatory environment have also contributed to America's economic strength over the decades. America can always maintain its leading position in world GDP. American businesses pioneer in the fields of technology, artificial intelligence, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, aerospace and defense. Nominal GDP, $23 trillion United States dollars. GDP, PPP, $23 trillion United States dollars. 2. It's Japan. According to real GDP forecasts, Japan's economy is in third place with an estimate of $4.9 trillion. Having experienced rapid growth in the 1960s, 70s and 80s, the Japanese economy experienced challenges in the 1990s. In recent decades, Japan has made every effort to promote economic development. Japan's four main islands, Honshu, Hokkaido, Shikoku and Kyushu, account for nearly 98% of the land area. With a nominal GDP of third in the world and a GDP, PPP, of fourth, Japan is a global economic powerhouse. Highly regarded for its innovation and hard work, Japan is home to the world's leading electronics manufacturing companies and the third largest producer of automobiles. The country regularly achieves international trade and investment surpluses. High-class labor is an important source of encouragement for the country's development. All of these factors contribute to making Japan one of the leading countries in terms of GDP. Nominal GDP, $4.9 trillion GDP, PPP, $5.4 trillion. 3. China. China's economy is known as one of the fastest-growing economies in the 21st century, ranking second in the world with a GDP of up to $17.7 trillion United States dollars. China's Belt and Road Initiative, along with its economic and foreign policy, has promoted the use of Chinese yuan in settlements. The country is increasingly influential in the global economy and has been a key driver of global growth since the 2008 financial crisis. China is currently ranked second in nominal GDP and first in GDP according to Purchasing Power Parity, PP. China's annual growth rate is outpacing that of the United States, and will likely overtake the United States to become the country with the world's largest nominal GDP in the next few years. Economic openness, improving living standards, and flexibility in market prices are China's strengths. Nominal GDP, $17.07 trillion GDP, PPP, $27.3 trillion. 4. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, UK, also known as the United Kingdom, includes England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. As the world's fifth largest economy and Europe's second largest by GDP, the UK ranks highly in the annual Global Competitiveness Report and in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rankings. Gender. Based on key service sectors such as finance, insurance and business services. The UK's average annual GDP growth rate from 1999 to 2008 was 2.8%. Growth can be expected to slow as private consumption and fixed investment decline amid Brexit uncertainty. However, With a GDP of $3.2 trillion, the UK still maintains its position in the top 10 economies in the world. The UK is the world's fifth largest exporter and also the fifth largest importer. The country also ranks third in direct investment from abroad and its direct investment abroad. Nominal GDP, $3.2 trillion GDP, PPP, $3.3 trillion. 5. Germany. Germany is the country with the fourth largest GDP in the world. 86.9% of Germany's GDP comes from import and export activities. With a real GDP of $4.2 trillion, Germany ranks fourth in the list of the world's top 10 economies. After a period of recession in 2009, the German economy has recovered strongly with a growth rate of 4.0% in recent decade. Ranked fourth globally, Germany is currently the largest economy in Europe, with a social market economic model and social service system. Considered the world's leading entrepreneurial spirit, Germany possesses a high-quality workforce, developed infrastructure and in-depth technology. As a leading exporter of vehicles, machinery, chemicals and other industrial products, Germany has a high-quality workforce. Nominal GDP, $4.02 trillion GDP, PPP, $4.8 trillion. 6. France. We can see that France is ranked 7th in terms of economic size in the world. As the world's leading tourist destination, the French economy is strong, with an estimated GDP of $2.9 trillion. More than 70% of the country's GDP comes from the services sector, and France is a global leader in the automotive, rail and aerospace sectors. With 31 companies appearing on the 2020 Fortune Global 500 list, France is the most represented European country. Import and export value accounts for 63% of the country's GDP, and property rights protection and an effective legal system help stimulate investment. France is the fifth largest trading nation in the world and second in Europe after Germany. Paris, France's largest city, is also one of the cities with the largest GDP in the world. Nominal GDP, $2.9 trillion GDP, PPP, $3.4 trillion. 7. It's India. India, a federal democracy with 28 states and 8 territories, is the sixth largest economy in the world. India strongly develops manufacturing, technology and service sectors. With a real GDP of $2.66 trillion, India surpassed France to rank 6th in the list of the world's leading economies. The Indian economy is growing the fastest among major economies, and has taken many strategic measures to boost the business environment, simplify processes and stimulate investment. Nominal GDP, $3.2 trillion GDP, PPP, $10.2 trillion. 8. Canada. Canada is known for its largely service-based economy. The threshold for foreign investment in Canada is currently $5 million Canadian dollars for direct investment and $50 million Canadian dollars for indirect investment. Canada, with a real GDP of $2 trillion, ranks as the 9th largest in the world. Although it ranks 9th in economic size, Canada is second only to South Korea. 9. That's your idea. Italy's economy is third in the Eurozone and 8th globally by GDP. Italy, with a real GDP of $1.88 trillion, ranks 8th largest in the world. In addition to its large economic size, Italy is also one of the most influential countries in Europe, member of Eurozone, EU, G7, OECD and G20. Italy's diversified economic growth is driven by the consumer goods industry. Expenditure of GDP comprises 61% of household consumption, 19% of government expenditure and 17% of gross fixed capital. Exports of services and goods contribute 30% of GDP, while imports account for 27%, contributing another 3% to GDP. Over the past few years, the Italian economy has grown strongly. 10. Brazil. Nominal GDP, $1.847 trillion. GDP, PPP, $3.456 trillion. As we know, Brazil is the most populous and largest country in South America. Brazil was one of the world's 9th largest economies in 2019, recovering from a socialist centralized economy with a nominal GDP of $1.868 trillion in 2018. The country is famous for its textiles, shoes, cement, wood, iron ore and tin. This results in a relatively strong agricultural industry, accounting for about 6% of total GDP. However, the service, 72.8%, and industrial manufacturing, 21%, sectors still account for the majority of the country's GDP, as in most modern industries. Brazil continues to recover from the sharp recession of 2015 and 2016. Before the crisis, Brazil revealed financial products in the country would be significantly larger in 2013 and 2014 at nearly $2.5 trillion United States dollars. The IMF, International Monetary Fund, recently reduced its forecast for Brazil to less than 1% because of weakening confidence in political stability and uncertainty about the exchange rate. The significant downward revision for 2019 reflects the deterioration in Brazil, where sentiment has weakened significantly as uncertainty remains over the approval of pensions and other structural reforms, the IMF said. According to the IMF, nominal GDP, $2.1 trillion GDP, PPP, $2.7 trillion. 11. Korea. Korea has been considered a developed country since the 1960s and became one of the most industrialized and developed countries in the world thanks to comprehensive economic reform measures. With a GDP of nearly $2 trillion, South Korea is one of the leading developed economies in Asia. Based on real GDP estimates, the Korean economy comes in 10th place, worth $1.8 trillion. Korea sets the bar for quality education, innovation and invests heavily in research and development, achieving many scientific and technical achievements. The workforce is highly skilled, delivering high median household incomes. Nominal GDP, $1.8 trillion GDP, PPP, $2.4 trillion. Thus, these 11 countries are not only economic powerhouses with great influence in the international arena, but also bright spots in the global picture of economic and social development. Continued growth and innovation are key to maintaining their leading position in the modern economic world. If you find the video useful, please share with more people and subscribe to the channel. Like and have any questions, please leave a comment below. Thank you for your interest in following. Hello and see you in the next video.